Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Tuesday. We've got very light rain. It's about 7:30. I've already done a little while in the workshop. And I've put these laterals in and some more. So they're all clamped into place, ready for welding. And I'm going to weld this up as one. I've got two more lengths of angle iron to buy and put on. One along the bottom, one mid rail, one there, and then some small sections going across to give it the strength. Because when the water's pushing, and the water will push from this side, a lot of pressure on that net when it gets blocked up. So I want there to be good lateral support. Now I was going to take this to the farm in sections and assemble it up, but I think if there's four guys and we take it down on a truck, it's 4.7 meters long. If we take it down on a truck, we can manhandle it into position, and it should be good, I hope. Well, you can hear the rain on the roof, and my seedlings are getting a bit of rain here. So I'm gonna go down to Turn and order a couple of lengths of angle iron. That'll come probably this afternoon. I'm not in a rush. I just want to get that completed before the start of next week, because the water will start to rise. It takes a couple of weeks of really good rain before the jungle says I've had enough and cascades come down. So it'll be cool. Well, when it stops raining and the grass dries, I'll get the mower out. And the cucumbers are doing really well. Look at that. But as yet, not one spring onion has germinated. It's amazing, isn't it? You know, one of the most wonderful things about YouTube is you meet the most fantastic people. But for every 100 fantastic people you meet, there's one arsehole. You know, my last video, lemon farm, I spelled Isaan, A-S-A-N. Now, in my defence, I wasn't sure whether it was double A or single A, because I'd seen it as both. So I went on the internet and I looked for the correct spelling of Isaan, and I found two maps that said I-S-A-A-N, and then a couple of maps that said I-S-A-N, and I went on Wiki, and Wiki said I-S-A-N, so I put it as I-S-A-N, and one bright spark said, well, on your next trip you might decide to say I-S-A-A-N. What an arsehole, what an absolute tosser. Because correspondingly, I've got Jeff from Australia, who I went to see at Mukdahan the other day. Jeff shared with me some seeds he brought from Australia, which was very kind, because he'd heard me say on camera that the bulk of seeds you get here are not viable. So he brought me some from Australia, which is very, very kind indeed. And then Paul's sending me some, and Daryl's sending me some. Historically, Stephen's brought me some. It's you know, the wonderful acts of generosity, and particularly with varieties that you can't get here. Like I'm very partial to parsnips. You can't buy parsnips here for love nor money, so that will be good. And there's a couple of shops that sell parsnips in Pattaya, but by God, it's like, for example, a small white turnip, not much bigger than a golf ball. Look at it, over 100 baht. My God. Mind you, from the UK, what we would often have with a roast dinner would be carrots and turnip, boiled mashed carrots and turnips with a bit of butter and a bit of white pepper, with our mashed potatoes, gravy and roast beef. And of course turnips are, if you can get them here like in Pattaya, well expensive. So, but what does grow here, does grow well, is butternut squash. And if you boil up butternut squash, cube it up like you do with the turnip, boil it up with the carrots, mash it, can't tell the difference. You would swear you was eating carrots and turnips. So any Brit here that's missing carrots and turnips, butternut squash and carrots, knockout. Right, well, while it's cool and a bit of rain and overcast, I'm going to turn this compost. I'm going to turn this compost, and some of it will be ready to get out. So we'll well hot, it's well steaming, and it's not been turned in over a week. But can you see all that white? That white is the beneficial fungus that the soil needs, and that is absolute gold dust. So this will be really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. I'm going to crack on and turn the rest of it in, and oh, it's cracking stuff. Well, it's Tuesday afternoon, about 2 o'clock. I've ordered some angle iron. I've got 3 lengths, so the 6 meters of length, 18 meters left to construct my spillway guard and stop all the fish from bloody escaping this year. Anyway, I've primed the backside, and I'm going to prime the inside now, and then tomorrow when this is dried off I'll cut it up, bolt it all together, and then we'll crack on with welding it up and getting the mesh on there. Happy days. Good morning. It's Wednesday. Don't ask me what date it is, but it's Wednesday. Now then, old man diary. Oh, well, I've been up this morning and I've mowed the lawns, got the mower out and had a session. I've got to get the strimmer out and trim around the edges. Today I've got to put a wire up for this passion fruit to grow along through that gap. The other day I weeded all these, left the tomatoes in, and I'm being eaten again by this beetle, so I've got to spray those and see if we can sort something out. There's a little sooty on top there on the wire, and he's come to eat the tomatoes. I don't mind. I don't mind in the least. There he goes. Quite a bold little thing, isn't it? He's got a black head and a red backside. And there's one of his mates. Come to, they're after the tomatoes. I don't mind. Right, so I've caught up with the watering. I've had the hose out this morning. It is raining a little bit, but it's not raining enough. The lawns are green, but it's not raining enough, and those sooties are on the oh, there's 2 more there, see. They got bits of food in their bills, and they're displaying, so it's clearly they're pairing up for breeding. And what was I saying? Yeah, it's raining. It's a little bit of drizzle at night, but not enough to wet the ground sufficiently for the plants. So that I've had the hose out, filled the bird bath up, and get my pineapples. I harvested one the other day and it was lovely, absolutely lovely. Right, well, I've got to crack on because it's getting warm, and I'm on engineering. Now then, I had these 3 lengths of hang line delivered yesterday, and I gave them a coat of primer, and I've got to finish this. I'm out of clamps, so I'll have to start bolting it or welding it. And so I'm going to measure up, crack on, and get going with this. Once this is out of the way, I've got a brand new project to do, and it's for Dave down in Buriram. And Dave, we were talking about gardening, and Dave said he liked my rake. So the project is, I'm going to get the lathe out, turn some tines, and I need to turn 18 tines. I need to source a piece of wood for the head and then source a handle. But this time I'm going to make it all on video. So I'm going to go right from, I'm going to get my Canon camera out and the lights out, and I'll set up and I'll make the entire thing. I often say when I'm using it, I have to say, my goodness, it's one of the best things I've ever made, and it's so handy. And Dave has seen me use it on the videos, and he would like one, so I said I shall make you one. Now I've been thinking about how I can get it to him, because it's a bit of an odd shape, isn't it, and going through multiple hands in the back of carriers and boxes thrown on it. I don't want it to get broken or smashed, so I've thought I'll come up with a little bit of a system I think will suffice. So I'm going to get some water now on the fruit trees in the orchard before I go and I start with the engineering. So away we will go. These mangoes are getting, look at the red ants, they're after the sugars. And that there is a red ant nest. Come on, watch them all come out now. They're all up. Who's knocking on my door? Mangoes on the floor. Right, I shall loads of mangoes on the floor, look. Loads and loads. Come on you, get flowering. Look at the spines on this rascal. Look at that. That's an orange, a large orange, like a Jaffa orange. And lots of fruit on this. Lots of fruit on this. This is a grapefruit. Come on. Get flowering and let's get some fruit off you. A Florida grapefruit. And this is my pomegranate. And this is a pomegranate that Partnery sent for me. And it's doing well, Partnery. It's here in the garden, in the orchard. It's grown a fair bit since I've got it. And it's got new leaves on it and flowers, and we'll see what happens. Wednesday afternoon, very, very tiny light rain, loads of rain clouds. We've had loads of thunder, and it's relatively humid. Now then, talk about the best laid plans of mice and men. Well, this morning I put my first length of hang iron on my saw, cut it to length, brought it to drill, and the damned drill wouldn't work. I've got power going to the switch, but not coming from the switch. So I took the switch out and I decided to travel to turn to try and buy a new one. No luck. So I went to Chankam, which is in the other direction. No luck. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I've actually sourced one on anyway, to cut a long story short, I've actually sourced one on Lazada from China. It'll be here in about a week. You know, there's no rush. I mean, that doesn't need to be in position in the dam for probably about 6 or 8 weeks, but I geared up to crack on today. I've had a couple of deliveries. I'd ordered a pH soil tester, which has arrived, and I'd ordered some linseed oil, which is for the handle for the rake I'm making for David, because if you get gardening or farming handheld implements, you don't varnish them, you get blisters with varnishes, but with linseed oil you don't. So some linseed oil arrived, and once my drill gets up and running, I'll crack on. I might cut some of the basic timbers and mark it out ready for the drill. Now, in my absence, the guy came and built up this bit of demolished wall, but with all these to-ing and fro-ing. Look at that, they leave the bloody cement bags here and cement bags outside. Do you know, Thai builders are absolutely bloody animals. They really are. Normally, what's in this bag here? Some grit, some sand. Normally, I mean, I wasn't here, I was away, and normally I get hold of them and say, listen, this might be a building site to you, but it's my home, you know. But wouldn't you think they'd take those cement bags away, or at least burn them? No, they just leave them there. And it's one of the things that irks me about Thailand is litter. I don't litter. I hate it. And I don't think anybody should litter. Look at these lovely mangoes. Man, they're ripening up very well. Now, this, I'll gather that up tomorrow and I'll get it on the compost pile. These mangoes are looking rather beautiful. Rather beautiful. And these here with the red blush, and these are the Australian Bowen mango. Got a bit of rain coming down, and look at these. These are lychees forming, and the red ants are all over them. The red ants are looking for the sugar, but they're lychees. And this is a dragon fruit. Ian Welldale, Ian's had fantastic success with his dragon fruit. He's done really well. Really well. Right, these are miniature mangoes. More like damn plums, aren't they? Look at this, like little plums. So I got into the watering the orchard this morning. All that's done. Got so much work to do. My word, it's unreal. I could keep going for 12 months, I think. When I went down to Mukdahan and saw Jeff had brought me some seeds from Australia. Well, I've planted all those seeds up in pots. They're cracking on now, and we will monitor their progress. So tonight I'm having smoked haddock, which I bought on my travels from an expat shop. We will see you a little. Can you hear that thunder? Look at this. These trumpet flowers. These miniature bees. Clearly camera shot it, but they must be getting the sugar or what have you from these trumpet flowers. They love it. And these. I hope. I haven't seen that before. Some kind of a woven nest. It's not a bird. I don't know. Oh yeah, it is a bird. Now then. Come on, Brian. What bird was that? We'll see. Well, good day. Just after 8 on Thursday morning, and because my drill press is out of action, I've ordered another switch, but unfortunately the only place I could get the right one was China. So I've got that, and I'll be here next week, but the show must go on. We had a good thunderstorm last night, so the garden got a good digging, which is really good. But I've got to put a wire or a cable across the first pergola for that vine to grow up. So I've got to improvise, adapt, overcome. Clint Eastwood, Heartbreak Ridge. So all my scrap steel is down here, and that is the kind of thing that I want. That would do nicely, but I've only got one of them and I want 2 of them. So I'm going to have to make one, and that will do nicely. That bit of angle iron that's already the right colour. All for a drill press. I've got to drill 3 holes in each one now. Right, so this is the plan. I'm going to put this bracket here. I'm going to fix it on with these. Now I've got to put a lot of washers on because they don't have thread up to the nut. So here we go. Well, it looks a bit gash with all those washers, but needs must when the devil drives. So I'll put the wire across this, another one at the other end, and then this vine can grow along the wire. Right, so these little beauties are a right and a left-handed thread. So as you twist it, these draw in and it tensions the cable. So if it starts to sag in the future, I can just nip it up easily. Well, there we are. The job is indeed a good one, and I'm looking forward to some lovely passion fruit off this particular vine. I may trim the lower branches down, I may trim them up, may fix them up, I don't know yet, but we'll see. But whichever way, it now knows which way to go, and my little development has successfully given it a cable to grow along. I might do it in the others, I don't know yet, but we will see. Right, get those dark clouds. It's humid. The electricity has gone off in the workshop. I know I've got solar, but the solar is the main house. The job of the solar is to keep us cool, refrigerated, able to work on the computer. The rest of it is on mains. I might alter that in the future, I don't know yet. But it's blue skies up there, dark skies up there, it's humid, it's, well, suffice to say, I am from Lancashire, and trust me, when you come from Lancashire, you know when the rain's coming, and indeed, it's coming. Because we're in the rainy season. Now, noisy in the background, what's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. We're having new surfaces put on the roads, and the tarmacking all the village. There was a few potholes down there, so in true Thai style they've come along and they're doing the whole village, not messing about. Clever stuff, isn't it? Well, that's the end of another week. If you got this far, a long week. We've done a lot this week. So next week we'll be installing the spillway guard at the farm. See you then. Bye bye for now.